I'm Steven Jaworski, and my topic is on renewable energy. In today's world, we are consuming vast amounts of fossil fuels by many means. One in particular is electricity, which in my idea, or my claim, is that renewable energy can replace fossil fuels as of today. I will be backing this claim by explaining how renewable energy is preferable to fossil fuels because they have a near limitless supply and are not, or if any at all, non-polluting. Also, there are now more incentives and rebates that the government is willing to provide for the transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy. Let's begin by defining two terms, renewable energy and fossil fuels. Renewable energy is any naturally occurring, theoretically inexhaustible source of energy, such as solar, wind, tidal, wave, or hydroelectric power. Also, fossil fuels are any combustible organic material, such as oil, coal, or natural gas, that are derived from former life. For my first supporting claim, we'll talk about renewable energy is cost-effective in today's world. A paper written by the California Energy Commission has shown that research has made renewable energy more affordable than it was 25 years ago, by showing that the cost of wind energy has declined from 40 cents per kilowatt hour to less than 5 cents. The cost of electricity from solar has gone from $1 an hour to nearly 20 cents an hour. Ethanol has plummeted from $4 an hour in the 1980s to only $1.20 in today's economy. While on average the cost of fossil fuel energy in California is about 22 cents per kilowatt hour. Throughout California and other states, there are large amounts of tax incentives, tax rebates and incentives that the governments, federal and state, are willing to provide to move people and businesses towards a more clean and renewable energy source, such as solar and wind. Now, my father is an electrician that is contracting with an environmental group called SEGA, which is the Clean Energy Alliance, Clean Energy Group Alliance. And his last job was for a car dealership that had a total of 21,778 solar panels installed on it. The job price was about $1.4 million, but with the tax incentives and rebates, it only totaled about $419,000. That is a 70% savings for the dealership and the owner. Also, when using renewable sources, you will be paid by energy provider for any electricity that you do not use. The job my father did will provide the owner of the car dealership about $9.6 million over the solar panel's lifetime, which is about 20 to 25 years, not including the amount of money that the energy company, Edison, would repay him for any energy that he does not use. Now for my second claim, or second supporting claim, renewable energy has extremely low pollution and is nearly inexhaustible. Now, wind only emits about 0.02 to 0.04 pounds of carbon dioxide for every kilowatt they produce every hour, while solar is only 0.07 to 0.2, geothermal is 0.1 to 0.2, and hydroelectric is 0.1 to 0.5 kilowatts an hour. That's provided by the Union of Concerned Scientists statistics. Now compare that with natural gas, which emits about 0.6 to 2 pounds of carbon dioxide per kilowatt hour, and coal, which emits 1.4 to 3 pounds of waste for every kilowatt hour. This can be seen by how my father is helping reduce this pollution effect, because the car dealership will save a total of 24,170 tons of carbon dioxide every year, which is equal to the amount of 562,200 trees being planted that year, or 2,465,340 gallons of gasoline, or recycling 76,400 tons of waste, or powering 2,740 homes infinitely with all the lights on all day, every day of the week. Now, I hope that this has influenced you over this topic, and thank you.
All right, I think you could use a little bit more interesting attention device rather than just identifying the topic. In fact, you've got one built into the speech talking about the experience that your father has installing the solar panels for the car dealership. I think I would use that and then transition to your proposition. But the proposition is very clear. The layout of the contents is okay, except your second point is not really phrased as a claim. It's you're not really making an inference with the way it is stated. I think there's an inference to be made there, but you need to be the one who's making it instead of trying to get the audience to figure out what the conclusion is. Like I said, internally the signposts were relatively clear. I think that the personal experience that you have based on your father's business, it does help give you a little bit of credibility, so I think that was pretty good. The story about how much is going to be saved by the car dealership, I do need a little bit more explanation about how the numbers about the number of trees or the amount of gasoline being used was calculated and figured out. An explanation on that would be helpful, but I think the example does a good job at showing how effective such a transition could be. You had good statistical information on the costs and on the amount of CO2 that's released by the various types of energy, so I thought that was pretty good. I think your generalization seemed pretty solid. The one thing I'm looking at, though, is that 22 cents per kilowatt hour, and you're comparing it to the 40 cents per kilowatt hour, and at least for some types of energy. And then the question comes up, well, why would we prefer the one that's 40 cents per kilowatt hour to the 5 cents per kilowatt hour? Why are we not going with that one? And I'm sure that there's probably some explanation or reason. There's some underlying assumptions here that probably need to be developed. I think your presentation, you're a little low key, but that's okay, a little low key. That makes you a small Norse god. Oh, okay.
Like low key.
All right. Sorry about the bad pun. Thank you.